Every night, the richest man in the city sat alone at a table meant for 12, eating in complete silence. No music. No conversation. No laughter. Because the millionaire could not hear a single sound in the world. But one quiet evening, something impossible happened. A cleaning lady's tiny baby crawled toward him, looked straight into his eyes, and did something that no doctor, no technology, and no fortune had ever been able to do. By the end of this story, you might see kindness, loneliness, and miracles in a completely different way. And if you love powerful emotional stories like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel, Shadow Tales, so you never miss a story that touches the heart. Now, let's begin. Victor Hale was a name everyone in the city knew. His skyscrapers touched the clouds. His companies spanned continents. His bank accounts had more zeros than most people could imagine. But every night, Victor Hale sat alone in a dining hall the size of a ballroom. A table for 12. One chair. One plate. And silence. Victor had been deaf since he was 12 years old. A rare illness had taken his hearing overnight. One day he could hear birds singing outside his window. The next day, nothing. Doctors tried everything. Surgeries. Experimental treatments. The most expensive hearing devices money could buy. Nothing worked. As the years passed, Victor built an empire. He became a billionaire before he turned 40. But success didn't cure loneliness. His parents passed away. Friends drifted away. Business partners respected him, but none truly knew him. Without sound, conversations felt distant. People eventually stopped trying. So Victor stopped trying too. The only person who ever entered his mansion regularly was Maria, the cleaning lady. Maria worked quietly every evening after Victor finished dinner. She dusted shelves, polished floors, and wiped tables that no guests ever used. She always brought her baby with her. A chubby, curious little boy named Leo. Victor never minded. In fact, Leo's presence was the only movement in the massive house. While Maria worked, Leo would crawl across the shiny marble floor, chasing reflections of the chandeliers above. Victor watched him sometimes. From across the room. The baby didn't know who Victor was. To Leo, he was just a quiet man sitting alone at the big table. One night, something unusual happened. Maria was cleaning the upstairs hallway while Leo crawled freely across the dining room floor. Victor sat at his usual place, cutting his steak slowly. Then Leo noticed him. The baby froze. Their eyes met. For a moment, the enormous mansion felt smaller. Leo giggled, though Victor couldn't hear it. Then the baby began crawling toward him. Maria was still upstairs, unaware. Victor watched the tiny child move closer and closer, until Leo reached the edge of the long table. The baby pulled himself up using the tablecloth. Victor blinked. No one had ever approached him like this before. Leo stared at Victor's face with pure curiosity. Then the baby lifted his tiny hand and placed it gently on Victor's chest. Victor felt the small heartbeat of the moment, something warm, something alive. Then Leo did something even stranger. The baby began patting Victor's chest, rhythmically. Like a drum. Victor frowned in confusion. But Leo wasn't done. The baby suddenly leaned forward, pressed his ear against Victor's chest, and started laughing. Victor couldn't hear the laugh. But for the first time in years, he felt something he had forgotten existed. And what happened next would change his life forever. Before we continue to the unbelievable second chapter, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to Shadow Tales, because the ending of this story will stay with you long after it's over. Victor sat frozen. The baby's tiny ear rested against his chest as if Leo were listening to something important. Victor could only feel the small weight leaning against him. Leo pulled back and clapped his hands excitedly. Then he did it again. Pat. 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 The baby tapped Victor's chest repeatedly, smiling with wide, delighted eyes. Victor didn't understand. But the child looked thrilled, as if he had discovered something magical. Then Leo grabbed Victor's hand. The billionaire stiffened. Very few people had ever touched him so casually. Leo dragged Victor's hand and placed it on the baby's own chest. Victor hesitated. Then he felt it. A tiny heartbeat. Fast. Warm. Alive. Leo laughed again and began tapping his own chest. Pat. Pat. Then he tapped Victor's chest again. Pat. Pat. Back and forth. The baby was showing him something. Victor's eyes slowly widened. He understood. Leo couldn't hear Victor either. Because Leo was mimicking rhythm, feeling vibrations instead of hearing sound. Victor placed his hand on the table. Leo immediately smacked the surface happily. The wood vibrated slightly. Victor felt it through his fingers. The baby clapped again. More vibrations. Victor realized something astonishing. For years he had chased hearing. But Leo was experiencing the world through feeling sound. Through rhythm. Through vibrations. Victor placed both palms on the table and tapped slowly. Leo's eyes lit up. He copied the rhythm perfectly. Tap, 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 tap. The baby giggled and repeated it. Victor's chest tightened. For the first time in decades, someone was communicating with him naturally. No awkward notes. No forced lip reading, just rhythm. Just connection. Maria suddenly rushed into the dining hall, panic on her face. She had realized Leo was missing. But she stopped in shock. The richest man in the city was sitting at his massive dining table, playing a rhythm game with her baby. Leo tapped the table. Victor copied him. Leo laughed. Victor smiled. Maria had never seen that before. Victor hale, smiling. Tears quietly filled her eyes. But Victor didn't notice. Because for the first time in years, he wasn't focused on what he had lost. He was discovering something new. From that night on, everything changed. Victor built a foundation dedicated to helping deaf children explore music through vibration. He funded schools, created special instruments, and opened centers around the world. And every evening, he still had dinner at the same long table. But he was never alone again. Because Leo, the baby who changed everything, often sat across from him, tapping little rhythms on the table. And Victor tapped back. Not hearing music, but finally, feeling it.